The other problem that we run into that is perhaps even more unsettling is the relationship between the individual and the ideology when we put science in the role of ideology. Asimov put it very succinctly and addressed the problems of this statement quite thoroughly, that the nature of the religion of science is that it works, that its miracles are repeatable, that its miracles are reliable, that the supernatural grace and benevolence which it bestows can be bestowed reliably and appreciably, that one can count on science producing its miracles for them, whether they are faithful or not. One of the chief problems that this proposes is that the absolute reliability of science, should we find it taking on ideological claims, ideological tones, is that that reliability removes one of the fundamental checks from the process of faith. Now, faith, science, yes. This is a minefield. This subject is a minefield. But I think we can agree, at least for the moment, that once one is discussing science not as a system of reliable production, not as a system of investigation, not as a system of producing very useful, actionable generalities or approximations, but when we start talking about science as an ideology, that the term faith does need to come onto the table. Once the term faith has come onto the table, there is nothing more dangerous than the reliability of science. Because one of the few checks against the influential action of faith on the psyche of a person who is faithful is the questionability of its reliability. That we can question whether it is manifesting in a way that we can rely on, whether we should rely on it. This is a process that many atheists describe as integral to their deconversion. It's also a process that many theists describe as absolutely necessary to the strengthening of their faith and, perhaps even more importantly, the dynamism and flexibility of their faith. Their ability to recognize that their faith has a place in their life, but does not give them unlimited license in their dealing with others. This comes from doubt, and doubt that is predicated on unreliability. Or at the very least, the question of the demonstrability of this reliability. The science ideology, the science faith, does not have this problem, and as such, does not have that check on the action that an individual will take. Both in how one views the ethical ramifications of an action, punitive versus corrective, and in the investiture of faith, science would make the worst religion imaginable, the most frightening religion imaginable. The sudden and abrupt imposition of human ideology and general human ideology, beyond which science can intelligibly comment, even neutrally, would result in a belief structure that has no ideological accountability, that has no natural limit on the actions that an individual is willing to take, or can take, with the blessing of their ideology, in the pursuit of their ideology, and would have no natural limit or interruption on the process of credibility, the degree to which an individual is willing to invest in this faith. Many criticisms to the contrary aside, it does need to be remembered that one of the things that keeps religion from running completely amok, that has kept it relatively on the rails, and I would say has kept it a more productive force in society and the course of human history than destructive, is the capacity and the degree to which the claims of a religion to some degree encourage doubt. In this proposed scientific idealism, scientific ethics, scientific morality, I see nothing that stands in between a given individual and the degree to which they are willing to be cruel, sadistic, or vicious in the pursuit of correcting a problem. And perhaps perhaps in some people, perhaps in at least the public message of some evangelists, we already see evidence of this.